The destruction from the Labor Day storm cut a line from west to east.
One of the areas our News 5 cameras reached was the Auburn area. That's where we found lots of damage along Route 5 just outside that city. This was the scene at the BJ's Wholesale Club store. Getting around in Cayuga County was as tough as it was anywhere else. Our Brenda Tyler found a Cayuga County community struggling with a big loss.
The Federated Baptist Church was straight in line with the storm. Now its steeple lays in what once was the center of worship. This church was a piece of history. Parishioners gathered here since the mid-1800s. For Walt Schoonmaker, it was much, much more. His great-great-grandfather built this church back in 1844.
Built many of the buildings around here, and this was one of them. I'm sure when he built it, he was probably kind of a matter of pride for him because it's kind of a piece of artwork.
But the artwork is now shattered, like much of this community. The destruction stretches across the town. The focus now, though, is to recover. Crews are working overtime. Utility trucks line village streets. People who don't have power are getting inventive. Rich Stevens is using a mobile home to run electricity to 2 houses. How is it working?
Great. Got the refrigerator on, local news, the basic necessities until they get the power back up.
As fast as they can pick up the debris, workers are getting rid of it.
For many people, the road to recovery will take weeks and weeks. They're dealing with things like this. Snapped trees just laying in their front lawns. And check out over here. There is so much debris, you'd hardly be able to tell there's a house under there.
Paul Simpkin is assessing the damage for the American Red Cross Disaster Relief. He's knocking on doors and making sure everyone is okay. The miracle here, no one was hurt. The sign in front of the church puts it best. This is just the building. The people who worship here are the church. In Port Byron, Brenda Tyler, News 5.
Niagara-Mohawk has had more than 800 crews, its employees and crews from across the Northeast here to restore power.
Crews from Canada, Pennsylvania, and Connecticut came to help. Niagara-Mohawk says that while the January ice storm that hit the North Country knocked out power to 140,000 businesses and homes, at its height, 250,000 customers here in central New York were without power during the Labor Day storm. It took nearly 6 weeks to get everyone back online in the ice storm, largely because it was spread out over a huge area, and NYMO had to rebuild nearly its entire system. Here in just 1 week, almost everyone has power back. NYMO says the few customers still without power are generally those with extensive damage that requires additional work or the work of a private electrical contractor. News 5 meteorologist Bob Van Dillen brought us first word of the impending storm, and meteorologist Tom Hoff was first on the air with news of its impact. We'll hear from them in a moment.
And long lines form as central New Yorkers try to get emergency help to replace food lost by power outages.